And of course, before working on any firearm, you want to make sure it is free and clear of all ammunition. So we'll go ahead and lock the slide back first. And as we can see here, the chamber is free and clear. And the magazine is also empty. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the controls and features of the KelTec P17. The P17 is a internal hammer-fired single-action trigger semi-automatic pistol in .22 long rifle. As far as some of the controls and features, it does have an ambidextrous paddle-style magazine release. And to release the magazine, you would simply pull down on that lever. The paddle style makes it very convenient. You can just use your trigger finger or your opposing thumb to release the magazine. The magazines do just fall clear of the pistol. We have the frame-mounted safety right there. Of course, the red dot, and with the lever being down, the red dot shows, showing that it is ready to fire. To engage the safety, you would just lift up. It is ambidextrous as well. This is our slide lock right here. And upon the last round firing, the slide will lock back. To release the slide lock, you would simply pull down on that lever and it will release the slide. One nice feature, it does have a cocked hammer indicator. If you see the red section there in the window, it means the hammer is cocked. Of course, with no red square in the window there, it means the hammer is no longer cocked. It does have a front accessory rail. The rear sight is adjustable for windage and elevation using a supplied Allen wrench. There's the control for the windage, and that would control the elevation. The front sight post is a fiber optic post for nice visibility. This is the takedown lever there. It's on both sides. Now, if you read the manual, they call this the buffer. So when you're reading that, it says to pull down the buffer when you go to disassemble. That's what they're speaking of. One other thing I'll point out, it does have a threaded barrel. This is the thread protector here that protects the threads on the barrel. Now, to utilize muzzle devices, there is a thread adapter that will screw onto the barrel threads, and then it adapts the thread to standard 1/2 by 28. And we'll go take a look at that real quick. Or some of the other things that it comes with. It comes with a little wrench or tool to remove that thread protector, as well as the thread adapter, and of course the Allen wrench. Now, if you have the thread adapter installed, you cannot disassemble the pistol. So you would, first step in that case, you would need to take the thread adapter off. You would want to make sure you put the thread protector in to protect the barrel threads, put that back on before you try disassembly. And I'll show you why in that here in just a moment. So we'll go ahead and take a look at disassembly of the KelTec pistol. And we'll go ahead and take a look also at how they were able to accomplish this. I mean, keep in mind, you get the pistol, 2 magazines, threaded barrel, adjustable sights, fiber optic front, Picatinny rail, ambidextrous controls for a suggested retail of $199. So there's quite a bit of magic that they did to be able to make that happen. We'll take a look at that. So the first step for disassembly, we'll go ahead and remove the magazine. And then pull down on the buffer or the takedown latch on both sides. At this point, you would pull the slide as far back as it'll go, and then it will lift up and off the barrel. So we'll take a look at the slide first. Now, if you notice, the slide looks a little kind of goofy compared to most slides. There is no side on the slides. And that's basically one of the main cost-saving measures that they were able to use to be able to manufacture this pistol so affordably. The slide is largely made out of a piece of just flat steel that's been stamped to have the hole in it for the barrel. Of course, the shape there to make the front of the slide. The target or the sight assembly and the gripping section here, basically the back portion of the slide, that's an injection molded plastic piece, and that screws onto the top of the slide. The screws go through the top part, through the slide, that piece of metal that makes up the slide, into a metal bolt assembly, and this is really the only machined metal piece in the entire pistol. So it is machined there. It's got the slide rails right there, and then of course have our extractor. Firing pin is right here, and that's pretty much it as far as with the slide. As I said, not having to have any of that machining there really was able to save them, you know, quite a bit of expense. So we have rails on the back that engage in the frame. The front barrel goes through this opening here, and that's why it's important to have that thread protector on there, because behind that thread protector there's a bushing that goes over the barrel and then the recoil spring. So the barrel is a fixed barrel. It's solidly locked into the front trunnion, which is then hooked into the frame, and that barrel does double duty as the recoil guide rod for the recoil spring, and there's a bushing that's on there to make it nice and tight, because that also takes the place of the front rails on the slide. So that opening in this slide, I'll go ahead and call it a slide, that's what it is, goes over the bushing, and then that bushing allows everything to fit fairly tight, and so that takes the place of front rails. So there's no front rails needed. That's why you don't really need sides on here. Now the rear rails on the breech block there engage these metal rails here. Now this portion itself is kind of hard to see. Oh, there we go. This is our ejector. These are the rear rails. This is all one stamped metal piece, and that stamping includes the ejector, the side rails, and then also like a metal chassis that the fire control assembly hooks into. So there again, it was very affordable to produce and still provides all the strength that you would need, especially for a .22 long rifle. So it's a very good design. Here's our hammer right here. And of course, notice the back of it's got that red on it there. And this is our disconnector right there. That's operated by the slide to disconnect the trigger from the hammer. And that's pretty much it as far as the assembly itself. Now, you would not want to disassemble this any further. The manual states that any further disassembly should be done by a qualified gunsmith. So after you disassemble this, you'd want to clean everything down, clean the barrel inside and out, wipe everything down, give it a nice coating of oil for lubrication and corrosion prevention, and then you could go about reassembly. So for reassembly, you would simply put the opening in the slide over that thread protector and then onto the bushing, and as you can see, there's a little step right there. Let's see if you can see this. And that step is what engages the back of the slide. So it goes over like that. So you pull down the buffer, then pull the slide all the way back, align the rails in the back, and then let it go forward. And it's reassembled. Go ahead and function check it. And we're all reassembled. Now, as I said, because of that bushing in the spring, if you would take that thread protector off and then try to disassemble it, This is what holds the bushing and the spring in place. So when you take the slide off, the spring and the bushing is going to go flying on you. And it's just a way more effort and work than what you would need to do. Just make sure that thread protector is back on there before you disassemble it.